Okay, so welcome to the show. This is The Force Always, and I'm David Zamet, aka Diz, with the review for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. It's been released here in Australia, Melbourne, Australia, that is, in a very, very unusual time slot on a Saturday night. Now, I didn't see it Saturday night. I've just seen it now, which is a Sunday night here. But it's rare to have a opening of a film on a Saturday, which is the first thing that I found very unusual. I don't know what the reasoning behind that is, but I'll take that as a good thing. And anyway, so let's get straight off the bat. I gave this film 7.9 out of 10. Now, I'm not a huge Mission Impossible enthusiast. I do like the films, they're very good. I thought the only one that was a bit cringeworthy in my lifetime, because they've been coming out every number of years for a long time, these films, was the one that was filmed in Australia. I just found it a little bit cringeworthy, especially seeing sort of particular vehicles here in Australia that you see in the Mission Impossible franchise. It was a little bit unusual, but let's get into this film, The Dead Reckoning. It's a part one, so it will end, and there is some spoilers here, some spoilers. It will end with a to be continued sort of feel, but it ends in a way that is fitting, similar to the way if you saw, not the same type of story, but if you saw Harry Potter, I think it was Deathly Shallows, and it ended off, and their part one of the part two, which was the conclusion to the Harry Potter franchise, with such a way that it was sort of setting up nicely for the second one. I can't stand to be continued sort of things. They drive me insane. But it ends fittingly. Its action sequences in here are amazing. The motorbike scene that we've seen all on the ads, going off the edge, kills it for the experience when you're going in to see the film itself. But it does really rely on it to really get people in the door. So it's sort of like a rock and a hard place. I think personally, it was an amazing scene. I think part two is going to need something that's going to top that. What that's going to be, I don't know. It's a little bit cringeworthy with its Mission Impossible dialogue. It has been toned down a bit, but you sort of can hear it. There was a lot of a lot of the dialogue was really softly spoken with a sort of crumbly voice, if you were to say, with a number of the actors. Like, for example, well, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to keep speaking like this. And if you don't listen to what I say or can't hear it, it's your thing. That sort of voice. And that was just a bit repetitive through the whole film. But it was very satisfying in its story sequence. Its pacing was good. It was a bit slow here and there, but it's that sort of Mission Impossible slow sort of feel. I just thought it was it kept with it. And the story, these type of stories, these suspenseful thriller action films can be a little bit confusing, and it does have that confusion about, you got to remember where's where and what's what and why and stuff like that. But the type of story it does offer is self-explanatory, simple. You've just got to sort of be wary of things by just listening to the story, not zoning out. If you zone out, you'll sort of miss certain points. But it is definitely worth seeing on the big screen, especially for the big motorbike jump. You sort of get the sort of feel of it anyway in the ads, even on your humble TV. But I think basically this is going to be a type of film that you could rewatch and just get so much more of it in your second viewing. I think personally it's going to makes some pretty good money. Now I've got to also say, last week I think it was the Indiana Jones review that I did say in America was going to make something like $60,000. Whoops, not $1,000 million in its first weekend. I was way off. It did underperform, but anyway, let's get back into track. So this type of film, I think, in the opening weekend in America, is going to sort of hit around, I would say about, I'll go for 85 million. I think it's the motorbike scene really has set the scene. I think people still remember how good Top Gun was, the Maverick one. I think that it's a film that is pretty self-explanatory in what it is. I think people have been starved for a really good film to see in an opening weekend of recent, even though I think a number of them have been good. I thought Indiana Jones was good. I did see also Joyride, which is good, but it's a low budget film, that one, but I think it still performed good. Going to this Mission Impossible keeps up with its times in relevancy of being not outdated. It's just some of the dialogue does sound a little bit dated in the way it's sort of said, but it does keep up with the times and it is relevant today. But it's just more entertainment, and if you can just bear the fact that it's a part one of part two, I'd say two, maybe not three, but if you can bear that, which I sort of can't. Well, I don't like those type of ones. I'll deal with it, but I think it's basically going to impress you. It's definitely a popcorn type sort of film, and I think Tom Cruise is looking, physically fit after all these years. It's amazing. He's really rocking hard, and that's it. Great sort of. I thought the females in this film were really good, especially the main lead. I don't know the character's name, but it's the one that is pretty much alongside Tom Cruise all the way through. I think she was great. Great interaction, good chemistry, and I thought it was just working well. So again, 7.9 out of 10 for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 by The Force Awakens. It's just a Star Wars kid, a kid from Australia, just giving a humble review of the film. And anyway, until next time, my friends, and there's more reviews to come, as there's, a couple more movies to come. Oppenheimer's one, and also Barbie. Gonna rock Barbie. Anyway, until next time, my friends, keep rocking.